All right, you lot. Davey here. This is Apocalypse Runway, a proper prepper production. And if that drawer of takeaway soy sauce packets you swore you'd tidy in 2020, well, if that turns out to be your emergency ration plan, that's not going to end well, is it? Right. Business. This is preparation in the here and now, not daydreaming about wastelands. Keep your ego out of it. Keep your house boring. Keep your mouth shut. Quick health and safety while I've got your ears. Test your smoke and CO alarms. Don't run generators indoors or in the garage, still indoors. Crack a vent if anything's burning and sweep the flue before the cold sets in. Candles? In jars, away from curtains. Water. Fill a few clean bottles tonight and label them. Now Dougie's in the shed with a good scotch and a bad attitude toward nonsense. Dougie, mate, make it bleak and useful.
You're listening to Armageddon's Runway, survival fashion for the end of the world. Practical, tactical, and just a little bit sarcastic.
And before anyone gets clever, leave the trolley where it is. Every time I mention foraging, someone says, we'll just load it all into a supermarket trolley and leg it. No, you won't. Those wheels will rattle like a steel band or cracked tarmac, echo off every building in earshot, and tell half the street you found something worth nicking. They don't roll straight, they don't roll quiet, and they don't roll far. If it's got wheels and it squeaks, it's not transport. It's a dinner bell. Right then, Dougie MacPrep here, and this is Apocalypse Runway, a proper Prepper FM production. I'm broadcasting tonight from the PPFM studio. Not because it's glamorous, but because at home, the missus says the radio hum keeps her awake. She's probably right. Out here, it's just me, the mic, a flickering heater, and a good scotch that could strip varnish off a table if I wasn't careful. But it's honest company. If you've tuned in expecting fairy tales, YouTube influencer prats, or another bloke shouting about zombies, you've come to the wrong show. This is for the grown-ups, the people who'd rather be invisible than famous when the lights go out. I'm not here to sell you a dream bunker with mood lighting. I'm here to help you keep what's yours and sleep through the worst of it without setting the place on fire. So, let's start simple. Home turf, because that's where most of us will either make it or make an avoidable mess. Suburban bug-in isn't a lifestyle choice. It's an act of camouflage. It's the art of looking so ordinary that even your nosy neighbor forgets you exist. Forget the movie image. No steel doors, no fortresses. The trick is subtle strength. Reinforced quietly. Long screws in the strike plate, hinge bolts that stop a good kick from turning your door into kindling. A second lock not where hands expect it. Inside, something heavy against the weak point. A bookcase, a chest of drawers, doesn't matter what. The aim is to buy seconds without inviting sodding questions. You're not bloody showing off, you're surviving politely. Now windows, same story. No bars, bars scream treasure inside. Go for shatter film and proper blackouts. I've seen clever sorts hang a light fabric layer inside a heavy curtain. From the street, it looks like nobody's home at all. Light discipline's a grown-up habit. When the power's down, even the glow of a torch can paint a target on your wall. You want the house to look quiet, not abandoned, not alive, just uninteresting. That's the good scotch reminding me to slow down. I only pour the one. Anything more, and I start telling truths that get letters of complaint. Noise next. You know what gives people away first. Not shouting, routine noise, the creak of a hinge, the rattle of a mug, the same tap running at the same hour every night. I left the hinge on this shed squeaky on purpose, just so you can hear it. Listen, that's what carries across still air. Carpet offcuts under the kitchen chair, felt pads under the table legs, a screw in the loose board, all cheap fixes. Silence is free, but you've got to earn it. Sound is a map to your life. Don't draw it for strangers. Out here in the shed, I've got one little trail cam out back, costs less than a takeaway. Hidden in an old bird box. Quiet eyes, that's all you need. Big dome cameras with blinking lights just tell people you've got something worth taking. If you're clever, you see without being seen. If you're daft, you announce your security like a man shouting, I'm rich to the taxman. Not a sensible idea, to say the least. Comfort matters, not luxury, function. Most beds are divans already off the floor. Good, leave them. The enemy isn't height, it's drafts and cold surfaces. Pull the bed 10 centimeters off an outside wall. Cold brick drinks heat. Put a rug or old blanket where your feet land so you're not starting the day with cold ankles. Do the two-duvet trick. Lighter one underneath as a topper, heavier one over you. A fleece throw between sheet and duvet does more than another jumper. If you've only one decent duvet, add a wool blanket on top and wear socks. And yes, a hat in bed if it's biting. Pride doesn't keep you warm. Windows? Easy. Just trap still air. Pin a spare throw behind the curtains or tape a bin bag edge to edge behind them. Ugly, effective. Roll a towel at the door or use a draft excluder. Tape the letterbox for the night. Shut the rooms you don't use. Heat the box you live in, not the whole house. Spend evenings in the smallest room. Microclimate beats bravado every time. Blankets on walls are a last resort for real cold snaps. If you do it, cover one cold face only and keep vents clear. Damp and fumes will undo you faster than winter. Boil once and make the heat work. A hot water bottle or a metal bottle wrapped in a sock buys hours of comfort for pennies. You're not trying to be heroic, you're trying to be steady. Comfort isn't vanity. It keeps tempers level and thinking straight. No medals for misery, warm, quiet, and fed. That's the target. Water's the big one. Every house has something in a water butt, a bathtub, or at worst, an old bin. Fill it before the mains give up. Keep filters, you understand. Ceramic, gravity, even sterilizing tablets if that's all you can get. Don't get fancy, get clean. And whatever you do, filter everything. Pretty pools are full of rat crap and dead pigeons. Neither is good for you. Food. Store what you eat and eat what you store. I've seen newbie preppers with a year of lentils they wouldn't touch unless starving. Don't be that clown. You need calories you actually enjoy. Tinned meat, pasta, rice, oats, and ration it. The end of the world isn't a buffet. Morale's a biscuit at the right time, not a binge. Don't forget the bloody neighbors. Now let's have a word. People talk about community like it's optional. It's not. In the suburbs, your neighbors can either guard your house or strip it bare. Which one they become depends on how you treat them now. You don't need to tell them you prep, God no. But you can be helpful. Share a tool, fix a fence, offer a cup of tea. It's insurance you can't buy. People are less likely to break what they've shared a brew over. Out here in the shed, I can hear the estate breathing through the thin walls. Boilers humming, dogs shuffling, the occasional cat having a philosophical chat with a bin. It reminds me that survival's not just about gear, it's about rhythm. Knowing the sounds of your world so when something's off, you hear it before you see it. That's a skill worth more than any gadget you can charge. Right. Before we go off on a ramble, quick safety sermon. If you're sealing a room for warmth, leave a vent. Carbon monoxide doesn't care how cozy you are. Test your alarms, change the batteries. Don't be too early to meet Mr. Death. And if you're listening tonight and you're new to all this, maybe you've just found the channel, or you've started looking around the internet thinking, maybe I should get a few things sorted. Good. You're already halfway there. But don't do it alone. Find a group. There are decent prepper communities out there. Local ones, online ones, Facebook, Telegram, even a few quiet Discord channels if you're that way inclined. Real people sharing a real experience. Join them, ask questions, listen more than you talk. You'll learn faster and you'll make fewer expensive mistakes. Because this isn't about heroics, it's about steadiness, awareness, and not panicking when the lights flicker and the headlines go mad. And now then, refill your glass, check your vents, and make sure your front door is still duller than your personality, and you'll be just fine. Right then, before the Scotch gets ideas above its station, let's wander, figuratively, not literally, into the semi-rural side of life. A few of you listening won't be in the cul-de-sacs or terraces. You'll be on the edge of town, maybe a bit of garden, maybe a field behind you, and a neighbor who owns more tools than sense. People think the semi-rural setup's the prepper's dream. Bit of space, bit of quiet, and nobody watching you fill water butts. Lovely idea, until you remember that isolation cuts both ways. You've got fewer eyes watching you, but you've also got fewer eyes watching for you. Out here, security is you, your kit, and whoever's daft enough to share your postcode. Light discipline's the same game, just a bigger board. That one house glowing across a valley, that's not serenity, that's advertising. Blackout curtains, heavy, layered, boring. If you can see your hand in front of your face, you've done it wrong. When the rest of the horizon's dark, even the smallest light looks like a flare for miles. And don't get smug about your doors. Rural thieves don't use crowbars. They use your own tools. That nice unlocked shed you're proud of, that's an arsenal. Lock it. Chain it. Hide the spares somewhere clever. And no, under the plant pot isn't clever. It's just tradition for lazy burglars. A little camera by the gate never hurts, but don't go building a watchtower. The whole idea is to not look fortified. You want subtle strength, not stage dressing. Same goes for fences. Fix them, don't sharpen them. You're running a home, not a prisoner of war camp. Noise is different out there. The countryside carries sound like gossip in a pub. A hammer in a shed at midnight will reach the next farm if the wind's right. Oil your gates, tighten the hinges, pad the doors. If you got a generator, box it in and line it. That hum will travel, and nothing says, I've got power and you don't, like a cheap Jenny at 3 a.m. Water. Now, this is where you lot have an edge. Gutters, butts, streams, maybe a borehole if you're posh. But don't go all romantic about natural water. Nature's full of livestock, pesticides, and the occasional drowned cow. Filter it at every drop. Ceramic filters if you can afford them, sand and charcoal if you can't. Never raw, never trusted. And stock more containers than you think you'll need, because you'll need more, always. Now, heat. Semi-rural wins there. Log burners, fireplaces, maybe a stack of wood out back. Lovely, but be clever. Small fires, dry wood, low smoke. That plume coming out your chimney is a glowing arrow saying, hot stew and company here. If you can, angle the flue or break up the plume with a baffle. You want it to drift, not shout, and clean that flue. Chimney fires don't care how careful you're meant to be. Get the brush down it before winter, not during. As for renewables, solar's grand if you've invested properly. Not the bargain bin ones that promise miracles and manage to charge a phone if the sun feels generous. Good panels, safe wiring, proper batteries. Lithium if you can stretch, deep cycle if you can't. Fuse it all. A man who fries himself trying to be self-sufficient becomes a cautionary tale, not a legend. And yes, wind turbines can work, but only if you've built or bought the decent stuff. The cheap ones scream, burn out, or take off in a stiff breeze. Get it done right or don't bother. Food? Semi-rural means you've got the space to grow it, which is both blessing and billboard. Don't make it obvious. Scatter crops. Root veg is your friend. Potatoes, carrots, beetroot. Boring from the road, brilliant on the plate. A garden that looks too tidy, too full, tells a story you don't want overheard. Chickens? Brilliant idea. Eggs, waste disposal, and mild entertainment. But they're noisy. Build it strong, fox-proof, and discreet. The fewer people who know you've got fresh omelets, the better. Neighbours again. Because no matter where you live, they're the variable that makes or breaks your peace. Semi-rural, you'll know them by name, which helps. Do yourself a favor and be useful now. Share a bit of firewood, swap tools, offer a hand. When the world tilts, you'll have built trust that money can't buy. Discipline and morale, that's where most people crumble. You can have a shed full of supplies and still fall apart from boredom and bad moods. Set routines. Ration like an adult. Keep the place clean, even when no one's visiting. A tidy space keeps your head straight. And don't underestimate morale. It's not fluff. It's structure. A deck of cards, an old radio, a board game with missing pieces. Doesn't matter. It gives shape to the time. You don't need to be cheerful. You just need to be steady. Now, about foraging and scavenging. Because sooner or later, you'll have to go out, either for food, gear, or information. And when you do, looking the part can get you hurt. Forget camo and body armor. You're not in a film. You want to look like you've got nothing worth taking and nowhere special to be. Rucksack, not trolley. Go mid-size, neutral colors, strapped tight. No dangling straps, no clinking bottles. Duct tape's your best mate for quiet kit. Footwear, broken-in boots or sturdy trainers. If they squeak, fix them. If they pinch, bend them. You can't outrun hunger in new boots. Gloves? Yes, always. Broken glass, rust, splinters, and who knows what else. Leather if you got them, work gloves if you don't. Hands are the first thing you'll wreck, and the last thing you can afford to lose. Tools you think are clever but aren't. Umbrellas. On paper, they're shade, a probing stick, maybe defense. In practice, you'll fumble, pop it at the wrong moment, block your own vision, and advertise yourself. If your tool doubles as slapstick, rethink it. Clothes. Layers, not fashion. Thin base, warm middle, waterproof outer. Ponchos are ugly but effective. Just mind fences or you'll end up hanging like laundry. Nothing reflective, nothing noisy, no logos either. Advertising makes you memorable, and memorable gets you followed. Skip sequins and anything that flashes light. You can't be stealthy and sparkly at the same time. Travel quiet. No jangling keys, no squeaky zips, no phones lighting up your pocket every time you breathe. Tape the buttons, kill the sounds, and for the love of prep, no squeaky leather jackets. Move like a rumor. In a group, coordinate dull colors. Don't let one bright jacket become the flag that everyone follows. If one of you wears high-vis yellow, they'll be the one attention sticks to. Blend, think before you lift. Bulky appliances and expensive-looking junk are dead weight. If it doesn't feed you, warm you, or fix you, leave it. 10 kilos of food beats a bread maker that won't power on. Food hierarchy on the move, tins at the bottom, packets on top. Heaviest low keeps balance. Pad glass jars or bottles with cloth. Clanking says, "Here I am," louder than any shout. Contamination, don't scoop food from standing water. Don't grab tins with bulges. Don't trust anything that smells off. Free food that makes you ill is a bad bargain. Back home, unpack slow. Wash what needs washing. Check seals. Don't dump it across the kitchen like a trophy haul. Organize, label, rotate. Civilized is what keeps you human when everything else isn't. Morale again, because every trip out eats a bit of it. Have a small ritual when you get back. A hot drink, a dram, a bit of music if you got power. Something that says, "We made it home." It matters more than you think. You know, people ask what to do now while life still mostly works. Answer's simple: learn while the lights are on. Build habits that make sense now so they're second nature later. Start with the basics: water, warmth, security, calm. Don't get lost in fantasy scenarios or gadgets you'll never use. Learn how to cook from scratch, fix a hinge, boil water safely, light a fire without burning yourself. Old skills beat new toys every time. And when you join those online prepper groups, be careful, because some of you will after tonight. And remember, half of them may talk nonsense for attention. Listen for the confident voices. They're the ones who've actually done it. Alright, that's me done for tonight. If you've learned something, brilliant. If not, at least you've had company while pretending to tidy the garage. Check your smoke alarms. Test your CO sensors. Sweep the chimney before winter. And before you go to bed, make sure your door's locked, your curtains are closed, and your life looks just dull enough to be safe. This has been Apocalypse Runway. Shelter Chic, a PPFM production. I'm Dougie MacPrep, signing off from the shed, heater humming, scotch in hand, still alive and still boring. Sleep well, keep quiet, and as always, boring is invisible and invisible is safe. Till next time, slang var, my friends.
That concludes this transmission of Armageddon's Runway. May your socks stay dry, your boots stay strong, and your neighbors stay distracted.
Right, that'll do for tonight. If you learned that, that's on you. This is prep for right now, not a bedtime story. Be dull, be steady. Quiet doors, dark windows, filtered water, small fires, decent neighbours. Join a sensible prep group, listen more than you talk. Health and safety before you shuffle off. Test alarms monthly. Keep a vent if there's a flame. Never bring the BBQ or Jenny inside and sweep that chimney. Fill a couple of bottles. Set aside a few tins you'll actually eat. And for the love of sanity, oil the hinge that wakes the street. Like, share, subscribe. And if you're feeling brave, leave a comment that won't get you nicked. We're back Friday 7 p.m. UK on PPFM. Same shed, same sarcasm. I'm Davey. Stay boring, stay unseen, stay alive. See you all laters.